Okay. Hello everyone. So in this video, we're going to finally finish with demand planning process steps from the business perspective. And maybe if we will be fast enough, we will also cover the KBs, which we have for demand planning part. To be honest, there are not so many of them, but let's see if we have if we have some time left for that in this video. So, uh, just to remind you, in the previous part, we stopped at the portfolio cockpit, the step when data in portfolio cockpit for our planning units is saved, maintained, and uh, transferred to IBP through this button. Then, according to demand planning steps, we need to confirm portfolio in IBP. So how planners usually do that, they open a master data workbook in IBP Excel add-in, like this. You can see the screenshot. So they select the market in the filters and the master data type. So they select all the filters, click OK button, and after that, they are able to see all their assigned products coming from BW Portfolio Cockpit. So they need to check the validity dates and if all the products for their markets were transferred properly. After that, they use template 15, demand disaggregated. So they need to perform a disaggregation of requirements by planning units to the final SKUs. So we discovered that already, this process. So they open this template for their markets. After that, they need to maintain the proportions or the percentage for each SKU. So as I said, there are 3 SKUs for one planning unit, and overall they should compile 100%, but they can be broken down by different parts. And demand planners need to maintain that manually. I guess they do it manually for each product. So after that, after they confirm portfolio in ABP, they run optimizer, but we don't have this step described. It's probably just pressing one button. I am not sure. Then they need to review sales history and adjust it, which means to correct the outliers and to see if the curve was calculated correctly. So again, I'm not sure how exactly is this carried out. So I'm just showing you the overview. So they select market, some playing unit, and they have this sales history for the previous period, for example, year 2020. And they have this initial curve, which has this outlier value. So they use, I guess they should use Archon demand add-in because it was created just for this process to get rid of the outliers and smoothen the curve. So that's how it approximately looks like. Then, after they review the sales history, they adjust the forecast manually and discuss it within the business teams to reach on the consensus. At this point, they can edit the forecast manually. They maintain disaggregation settings, and then they need to review and adjust the forecast. So after they maintain the disaggregation settings, they have their forecast. So they run this script, this algorithm, and they receive the key figure values for consensus demand adjusted disaggregated. So the demands or requirements for material for the future, they are already separated by particular SKUs like this. You see, so this is a material in SAP. So they have their requirements, they make the final adjustments, and the demand planning cycle is considered as completed. So actually finished pretty early. So I'm going to show you the KB articles which we have for demand process. Let me check. So as not all articles as for now are added to PLN main article umbrella. I hope I can get it up to date as soon as possible. But as for now, I've checked the articles we have for demand planning and what I can see. So first we have a group of articles for portfolio cockpit, for example, how to change the validity dates. Then also, let me check, how to access portfolio cockpit. First of all, then let me see this one. Yes, so how to check validity dates in IBP as well. It was created by BTS member. So there is a short manual how to check it. Then I guess we have not finished article. Yeah, that's actually only draft. Also, yes, global playing calendar. I showed you this one. How to get access to IBP. How to change validity dates. SNOP process overview. It's also just for your interest from business perspective. What is the SNOP process? And yeah, also we have an article regarding what is planning unit. It basically contains the same information as we just covered in the training. And oh no, I guess it's oh no, it's definitely not related to demand planning. I need to change it later. And that's pretty much it. Also, we have a couple of articles created by BTS members recently on how to push data from S4 to IBP and from IBP to S4 in case the data is stuck or we need to like push it urgently. Let me check this article. I will close this once. Yeah, so for example, this article was created by BTS on how to push product master data from S4 into IBP. And the process is described, of course, as I mentioned in previous videos, the data transfer between S4 and IBP is carried out through a middleware called CPIDS. So this screenshot is definitely from CPIDS. You see this CPI ending, and these lines are actually like background jobs which are running, um, which are scheduled, and they run in specific time. to transfer data between S4 and IBP. However, I suppose that, yeah, master data is updated daily, but it can be also manually updated when specific product master data is missing a IBP. Well, you might ask if GSD have access to push this data manually. Well, as far as I know, not. So I've checked and we are not able, well, let's try. So it says go to application jobs in web user interface and schedule the following job. So let's copy the name of the job. Let's go to production and check if we can perform the steps required. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so we need to find a business catalog called application jobs. Right? Yeah, application jobs in web UI. Application job template. Not sure that's what we need. Monitor application jobs. Well, I guess it should be somewhere here. So let's check application jobs template. Create. I'm not sure. Schedule the following job. Well, sounds pretty easy, but not sure if this is really that easy. Product base update CPI. Okay, if we find this job, then what can we do? It is already scheduled. Single run. Well, I'm not sure that GSD should really do this even if we have access. I guess either users should have access or somebody from global planning team should be able to perform these steps, or I'm not sure, maybe BTS members. Of course, I guess they can do it, but let's check the article. Is it user specific or not? So yes, this is IT article. So probably IT members should do this, but I'm not sure. Let's, for example, let's run this T code to check if we have access in P40. This should be run in the end of the procedure. Okay, we have the access. Well, I guess I will check with BTS because this article was published a while ago, but nobody from GSD were informed that that should be done. Let's check the incident tickets processed by guys, if they really use this article. Okay. Okay, so yeah, actually here in the incident tickets, Said mentioned that GSD is not sure if we need to push material data ourselves. Then without any further explanation, Stefan from BTS PLN just mentions that material is available, so he probably did the manual data push himself. Also, yeah, in another incident, Olga escalates to PLN team. As agreed in Teams, please assist. So I guess this shouldn't be done by GSD. We just need to attach the KB and escalate such incident to BTS PLN. Yeah. So this set of KBs is actually pretty much it for demand planning. Uh, I guess right after the go live, we had several meetings with BTS where we, like me and Dmitry Maltsev, who was working on this project, we stated that GSD is clearly lacking information on demand and supply planning parts, that we have only brief understanding of what's going on in IBP and how to work with key figures. So when we receive incident tickets, like, so I guess I had some incidents tickets as examples. Just a second. Just a moment. Wow, where were they? Okay, so for example, if we have to check incident tickets created for, well, I'm sure that they were open somewhere. Let me check. Sorry for this delay. No. I couldn't close all of them. I think I still closed them. Okay, then just give me 2 seconds to open, to run the report for demand planning. Sorry for this delay. Okay, so all incidents. Okay, well, I will discuss the topic of configuration items, business services later, I guess all at once. So this is just the CI used for IBP issues and business service used for demand planning. We will discuss it later. So you can see that generally most of the tickets, maybe 60 to 70% of tickets for demand planning are resolved by second level teams, security, BI teams, or BTS PLN. So, for example, let's check some incident, a typical incident for demand, which looks like this: dependent demand, heuristic versus optimizer. So what is actually wrong? Well, yeah, what we did is we just escalated to BTS PLN. So usually users are working with some demand templates in IBP with some product types, and they are wondering where did some key figure come from, why key figure has, I don't know, negative values, positive values, why is it 0 in a key figure, why key figure was not transferred from one IBP template to another. And so what you can check, you can launch this template in the same way user did. You can ask for selection criteria. You maybe can go to the remote session, but what I really advise you to do, if you like literally have no idea, uh, like what can be the root cause of the issue, why some key figure was not updated in the correct way, or maybe why optimizer did not run, or maybe they like demand planners run this optimizer script, but mm, when they run it once, it behaves in one way, and when they run it another time, it behaves in another way, and they want to need the reason. What I really advise you to do is to collect as much information as possible. You need to collect the data about the market, about the SKUs, planning units, if the issue is the same for their colleagues, when it started, if all data was correct in the system, like yesterday or last week, and so on. So you collect all this information just based on your common sense and like general overview, which we just covered on what is approximately happening. So you can draw some conclusions based on that. And you escalate such incident to BTS PLN because, yeah, unfortunately, as for now, there is not so much we know about IBP. And also, I've checked really quite a lot of incidents, and I spotted that in many times we escalate to BTS PLN with mentioning that something doesn't work as it should. And it looks like, at least from the incident, it looks like what do? They just wait a little bit, like an hour or something. Or here, for example, we escalated, you see, at on the 18th of March. And after a week, Ivan from PLN team says that optimizer started to work correctly. Well, that's actually quite typical and legit reply in the incident tickets. So, or for example, IBP data push to S4, old PRs are still visible in product view. Well, I guess I disagree that it is related to demand planning. I am not sure, but probably yes. Let me check the KB article. No, KB article is for production planning and scheduling, so this incident was just incorrectly registered as demand. But you see the advice from BTS is to delete the PRs manually. So yeah, it's really, sometimes when you see the replies from BTS team, you just think that, well, that looks quite obvious or that's looks logical, but you are afraid to advise such actions yourself because you are not sure. And again, this is okay. We don't have a really high resolution rate for demand and supply parts, at least as for the moment. So for example, let me check. Okay, dependent demand issue. So how do we transfer this to BTS? So user found dependent demand issue during finished goods step rough cut capacity planning. So they were checking the factory capacity in IBP template 25 capacity supply. So they have some production order for some SKU. It was created on in the end of March. However, in IBP, in this template, the dependent demand is showing, okay, quantity of current technical week, despite the fact that there are no time. Okay, so as far as I understand, so let's just imagine that in Taiwan, they were going to produce some more quantity of some SKU. So they have their production order. So the production was scheduled. And it should be reflected in IBP. So definitely the demand should be lowered because we have like a requirement for 5,000 cases of cigarettes. Then we know that like next week we are going to produce 2,000 cases. Then the demand should lower and become 3,000 cases because we supplied this demand with our production. But it looks like in IBP, the data remained the same, so the production was not reflected, despite the fact that lead time between two plants was 0. Lead time means that the transfer, like lead time is the actual time of moving goods physically from one location to another. So somehow this is considered here as well. Then they were checking, Olga was checking Delta report and found some errors, but for PRs, not for production orders. So we again are asking for BTS assistance. And what is the solution? Dependent demand is falling. So the relevant data is not reflected in the system because data cleansing was not done properly. So is there a chance that GSD could actually come up with that solution? Maybe, but I would not come up with that solution, like 99% with current level of expertise. Then they say, as you know, those orders must be pushed to the current date in order to be correctly reflected. Okay, so they need to adjust the data and delete some past production orders or some firmed plant orders. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. And yeah, so we saw some examples of tickets for demand. Well, you can always check tickets in the past, which were happening. You can check solutions from BTS teams. You can apply it, but yeah, again, the expertise in this area is quite vague, and for now, that's all right. So don't blame yourself that you escalate a lot of demand-related incidents to BTS. So thank you for being with me, guys, and goodbye for now. Yes, see you.